Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to episode 7 of Fireside Stories, The Forbidden Ruins, A Tale of Terror, Part 3. A magic circle appears on the ground in front of the ancient ruins. The group is transported to the entrance in a flash of light. John falls to his knees and starts to cry.
It killed them,
he screams. John continues to sob uncontrollably. Kira attempts to comfort him, but he lashes out. He pushes her away and starts to draw his sword. Marcus lunges to protect Kira just as the sword's tip is removed from the sheath. In one swooping motion, John swings at Marcus. Luckily, because of the state of his mind, John misses. Lilith walks up to John and flicks him on the forehead. John's eyes glaze over, his legs give out, and he falls to the ground.
What the hell was that?
Marcus questions.
A simple paralysis spell.
Lilith explains.
Not that. Why did he attack Kira?
He didn't intentionally attack her. The orb fractured his mind, and Kira was the closest when it finally broke.
How the hell do you know so much about that orb thing?
My father told me stories from the war.
Marcus looks at Lilith, waiting for her to elaborate.
Would you care to fill us in?
The group decides to make camp near the ruins before returning to Arcadia. Lilith sets up a tent for John and tends to the paralysis spells she placed on him, while Marcus and Kira start a campfire. After Lilith confirmed John's vital signs were normal, she started cooking dinner. She serves Marcus and Kira a hot bowl of steaming venison stew. They start eating, waiting for Lilith to begin her story.
At the beginning of the war, 8 years ago, 2 armies from the elf and human nations met in a field near a human village. The war had not yet begun, and this battle was over territory encroachment. The nearby village was expanding and the humans needed more land to cultivate food for the growing population. The elves, however, claimed the forest to be theirs. In the middle of the battle, soldiers from both sides stopped suddenly to look at a glowing red orb that appeared in the sky over the village. It stayed there for several minutes. It didn't move, didn't change in size or color. It just sat there. The fighting had stopped. It seemed to be a gift from the gods. But just as the soldiers were heading back to camp, the orb disappeared and a powerful shockwave destroyed the village. Some of the soldiers even reported feeling the shockwave from 4 furlongs away. The humans accused the elves of the destruction and retaliated by destroying an elven village, and the war started. My father and I were the only survivors when our village got destroyed by those disgusting...
Lilith pauses to take a deep breath. She cannot allow her emotions to control her.
None of this makes sense,
Kira says.
What do you mean?
Marcus asks.
First, why would an orb from 8 years ago be seen here in century-old ruins? And secondly, why were they reported to be a base for goblins when that is obviously not the case?
Maybe someone has a sick sense of humor,
Lilith suggests. The group is interrupted as John emerges from his tent and joins them by the fire.
How are you feeling?
Lilith asks.
A bit nauseous.
He says. Lilith prepares a bowl of stew broth and hands it to John.
This should help.
I overheard you talking about the quest, and I had a crazy thought.
John says as he slowly sips the broth.
When I met you, Marcus, you said you already had a quest. That is right.
Marcus says.
The guildmaster personally asked us to complete it. So if you were picked for the job, someone may be targeting you 3.
Marcus, Kira, and Lilith look at each other in bewilderment. They can't believe the guildmaster would be involved in such a heinous plot. John notices their concerned looks and tries to reassure them.
The job was probably passed through many hands before it reached the guildmaster. Whoever this person is, they're covering their tracks.
The 4 adventurers sit silently by the fire, contemplating their next move. Marcus and Kira decide it's best if they get some sleep and continue formulating a plan in the morning. They head to their tents while Lilith and John remain by the fire.
I'm sure you have many questions,
Lilith says.
I do, but first, why do you trust me?
John asks.
because you have lost everything as I have.
But we lost them in different ways. I lost mine to a powerful, unknown entity while humans killed yours. So again, why do you trust me, a human?
I do not hate a person just because they are the same race that destroyed my village, and you did not learn about the orb until about an hour ago.
I had already known the orb wasn't of elven origin 2 years after the incident. I was determined to find the one that killed my family. Throughout my research, I discovered that no dark elf can produce something of that magnitude.
Well, yes and no. No dark elf, as you call us, has the magical capacity to achieve something on that scale. But there is a race of elves on the northern continent who can.
Lilith explains that after her village was attacked, she began having nightmares. One occurred over and over again, about a man with no name and no face. It seemed as if he would appear in her dreams purposefully. He would greet her as if they knew each other and show her his magic power.
Are you telling me you can create an orb like the one in the ruins?
John asks.
Yes.
Lilith replies. John stares silently at the campfire as he processes this new information.
I'm not involved in any of this, if that's what you're thinking.
Lilith says defensively.
Sure you aren't. It was quite convenient that you put up the barrier only after the orb nearly killed us all.
I said we needed to leave. Marcus and Kira listened to me, but you were in shock.
John picks up a piece of firewood and tosses it on the fire.
It's going to be difficult trusting you in the future.
Lilith stands up.
Why did you sleep on it? We can discuss it more tomorrow.
Lilith leaves John by the fire and walks toward her tent. She hears a faint rustling in the bushes near the forest's edge. She looks back to see John still staring into the fire. She turns back towards the woods, holds out her hand, and casts Detect Thoughts.
Hello, my dear Lilith.
A voice says in her mind. Lilith's eyes grow wide as she recognizes the voice. It is the man who appeared in her dreams. Now, if you enjoyed that story, make sure to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to stay in the loop for part 4 and future Fireside stories.